So let's start bringing in some videos, shall we? So I'm going to click File, and I'm going to resave this project because now that I'm on my Windows machine, I want to navigate the videos, and I have a folder in here called Test, and I'll call it Olive Video Editor. Okay, and let me go up to File and click Import, and I'll navigate to my actually what I want to do, and it's very important for you to do this as well. So let me go ahead and bring in my folders and I'll show you what I'm doing. I have this from my Google Drive. Okay, so I use Google Drive to put my files back and forth, and I have these 5 video files. But what I want to do is I want to make another folder, or navigate to that folder that I saved, and videos test, and I have this Olive Video Editor here. And I'm going to go ahead and create another folder here, Olive Tutorials, just like that. So here's my video file that we're looking at right now in the background, and here's the video tutorials. I'm going to line up these side by side. I'm just going to grab all these videos off my Google Drive, so then that way I can operate faster. If I leave them on Google Drive, uh, I risk it, taking more time to make the video. And who wants to take more time when you don't have to, right? So let me just close my Google Drive out here. And now I have these videos in my videos test Olive Tutorials folder. So I'm going to go up to File, and I'll select Import and go to my Olive Tutorials. And I can just hit Control A. And since they're all dated and timestamped, they're going to be in order. But you can rename these things to have it make sense to you. But it makes more sense for me to put them in chronological order since I'm going in order. And then I'll select Open, and it'll import it into this project window right here. And here you can see they're organized by name. Now, if I wanted to see the full name, I could hover in there and pull that over like so. Here I could see the durations of each clip, and I just clicked that. So now they're organized by the durations. But I want to organize them by name, and they're in descending order. That's ascending order. So that's the earliest date to the latest date and time. And if I scroll this over here, you can see there's my timestamps on each one of them. Okay, so that's pretty much the way that I want to order these. Now I could grab these all right, and bring them and drag them to my timeline. Now here I can automatically detect parameters from footage, and that's probably what I'm going to do. But you notice this one's 29 frames per second. The rest of these are 60 frames per second. So I'm just going to go ahead and detect it automatically. Now, just as a side note, if I was bringing in like footage from a cell phone where it's portrait, I would want to set the parameters manually because for some reason they get turned on sideways. So what I would want to do is set the parameters manually. But for this, I'm just going to select automatically detect. And now here we have them all going in order. And they're getting lined up. You can see this progress bar. All these tracks that I brought in. Here's my video track, and here's my audio track. All right, the top one's video, and the bottom one is audio. And so now I just brought all those in. And remember when we were talking about the tools about zooming in and zooming out, and I told you that I hold my control button down. If I hold my control button down and roll out on my mouse, see how it zooms out? See, I got those zoomed out. And this last one here is a stereo track, an MP4. That's why you get 2 tracks on that one. So if you're wondering why some have 2 and some have 1, this is mono track, this is stereo track. All right. And then I could zoom out as much as I want. You'll notice this line up here. This is your timeline. That's actual time. So that's at 5 minutes, that's at 6 minutes, that's at 7 minutes. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to work on this track right here, the first one. And so I'll scroll in here, and here I could start editing. Now, you're probably better off bringing these in one at a time. In fact, let me just do that. Let me zoom out here, and let's say that I want to get rid of all these tracks because I won't only want to work on one at a time. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight them all, and then I'm just going to hit my delete button. All right, and that takes them all out except for this first track. Okay, so now here I am in this first track. Here's my preview window up here. Okay, so here's my timeline. Here's my preview window, and these are my tracks. And you might think, well, why is this thing so small, right? Because my preview window, it's not filled out. Well, that's because the window is set with the rest of these things. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab this last one here. Let's check it out. So if we drag it onto the timeline and I look at it, notice how it's fuller. Okay, that's because it automatically detected the parameters, and this was the biggest track, so it compensated for that one. So all the rest got compensated. So let me go ahead and get rid of this track. And that's what happens when you have it automatically detect the parameters. But it's no big deal, and I'm going to show you why. I could come in here, I can highlight this. Notice my tool, I got my pointer tool highlighted, and that's automatically highlighted by default. Now, if I could focus your attention right here, see this scaling? It's scaled at 100%, and I just want the whole thing to be bigger. I can actually, slide to the left and to the right, and that'll make it bigger or smaller. All right. The other thing that I could do is just click in here and type a number like 125, and that'll enlarge it 125%. That's still not big enough. 150, 150. There's that looks like it's about right there. Okay. So this is my marker, and I can move it all over the place. Okay. So I can go to the start of the track, to the end of the track, and what I want to do is I want to take this and roll in with my mouse. So I'll click once in here, and then I'll roll in on this track so I could see the seconds, okay? I want to see as much of this track as I can. And I'm going to hit my space bar.
Now in our next lesson, we're going to be breaking down, we're going to navigate this interface.
Okay, I just realized that I brought in the oldest track on that last one. So because this is the lesson where we're talking about the interface. So let me just go ahead and I'll remove this one here. And this one was 121301. And if I go over here and I look at the names, 121301, okay, it shouldn't have been that one. So if I rearrange these clips, now I have the newest one on top. Let me go ahead and I will delete this. I'll come in here, grab the newest track. And just because you delete it from the timeline, it doesn't mean that it's deleted from your system. Okay, so let me go ahead and see what's going on.
Hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I fired up
this tutorials. This is my first one.
This is going to be a good one. This is on the Olive Video Editor.
Okay, on the Olive Video Editor. Now notice the sound. I got a double stereo track there and a double stereo track there. Now, I want to remove one of these, okay? I only want one sound so it doesn't sound too like I'm in a tunnel. So what I want to do is I want to right-click and unlink these tracks, all right? Now, they're all still darkened, so I want to click once off of it. Now they're all light, and I'll click on the one track, and I'm going to hit delete. And I'm going to remove that extra stereo track that we have there. And now, if I hit play, my space bar,
wow, hey everybody, I know it's been a while since...
See, now it doesn't sound like I'm in a tube or a tunnel. So now what I want to do here is I'm going to go back. This is where you can hit the home button or the end button, go to the other end of the track, just like that. The other thing that you can do is whenever you're in this interface like this, you could pop this thing out, and if you have another screen like I do, you can have this go over to another screen altogether. But since this is a video tutorial, I'm just going to have it, go back where it was there. So then that way, and you can arrange these windows. You can resize them. I'll show you. You can put them in, resize them, have this thing down. that's not generally how I work, but I will work it this way. Then that way you guys can see everything that's going on. But it's always nice having that extra monitor where you could take this. I was using a DaVinci Resolve, and that was one of the premium things where uh, you could play the video on another monitor, but with the Olive, you can do it like this, and it's very, very helpful. So let's go ahead and let's see what we're going to discuss next. All right, so whenever I click on a track, okay, so this is my video track, this is my audio track. I could click in here and name this track video track if I wanted to, but they're already labeled there. And so let's say that I wanted to slice this thing, because you're going to be doing that a lot. If you come up here, okay, let me see if I could find a space. I'm going to pause the video for you. I'm going to try and find a space that I want to take out. Okay, so I found a spot that I want to take out on this end part here. Okay, so I have these two tracks. If I click on them like this, you could see that they are not linked. Because if they were linked, if I clicked on one, the other one would also be dark as well. So I'm going to have to splice them twice, or I can link them. Now, if I wanted to link these two tracks, I could just highlight them both, right click, link, unlink. And now notice they're underlined. Now they're both highlighted. Now if I click off and I click on them, they're both darkened. And now if I want to make the split right there, which is really where I want to make the split, I'll hit pause my space bar just to make sure that I'm in this. Like if you can zoom in, I hold my control button and roll in. See, that's the end of the audio track. Then it goes silent here. So basically I'm just going to hit Control K, and that splices it. And you can see if I move the marker, let me move the marker off it. You can see that's where it's spliced. Now I can very easily just take this and hit delete. And now I could go back and unlink those tracks if I want by right clicking and select link, unlink. And now those tracks are not linked together. Okay, so that's how you make a splice. And now I'm ready to bring in another video track or whatever I need to do. Okay, but while I'm here, let's go ahead and undo that. I'm going to hit Control Z, and it brings that track back in. Okay, but I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the ripple tool. Now, let's say there was just a segment in here that you wanted to delete, like, oh, that's no good. So you come over here and you hit your Control K, and now you have, let me move the marker so you can see, right here is a splice and right here is a splice. Now, let's say that you wanted to remove this and you just wanted this track to butt up against that track. Okay, well, that's what your ripple tool does. Okay, so to do that, what you would do instead of, if I just click on this and I hit delete, notice how that space is left there, okay? And that track doesn't go to that track. Well, if I hit Control Z, I put that back in there. What I want to do is hold my Shift button down and hit delete. And now notice how it takes that section out, but then butts that one up against that one. So let me hit Control Z, and there's another way to do this too. If you right click and you hit ripple delete, it does the exact same thing. So that's really handy whenever you're just trying to take out a piece in a video track and you want to just, delete a segment and then have that one butt up against that one. So you'll use that a lot too. It's a really handy tool. Okay, now let's say that we didn't want to delete this one, but maybe we wanted to change the speed of it, okay? So basically what you do is you could highlight it, see how it's highlighted dark, and then right click and this speed duration, and you're going to get a little box that looks like this. And you can increase the speed or decrease the speed. So whenever you have a track on this side and a track on this side, you don't really want to increase the speed because you're going to have to move this. Or, I mean, you can make it be slow motion. Now remember, this going up, it's at 100% now. So to make it go faster, you go like 200%. To make it go slower, like in slow motion, you would decrease this number. But since we have a track that's butted up against it here, if we go slow motion, let me show you. I'll type 50 for 50% and I'll select OK. Notice what happens to that track. It doesn't extend. right? Because you got this track here blocking it. So I'm going to hit Control Z and undo that speed. And I'm going to go right back in here to speed duration. And what we're going to do, instead of 100%, we're going to do 200%. All right. Now that's going to make it go 200% faster. And if I select OK, like that, you notice how it goes, back there. But now we have this block. But now this is going to be in fast motion. See how the mouse is moving? Notice the audio. Okay, it's kind of funny to make you sound like chipmunks. Let me hit Control Z again. And we have a couple other different options whenever it comes to this. So let's highlight this track, right click, go to speed and duration. Now here you can reverse it, depending on what you're doing, what type of effect you're looking for. Here you can maintain the audio pitch. So let's click maintain audio pitch and set that at 200% again. So it goes 200% faster, and select OK. Now let's go ahead and listen to the track.
Well, hey everybody, I know it's been a while since I fired up these tutorials, but this is going to be a good one. This is on the all
video. Now you can't understand what I'm saying because we went 200%, but it still doesn't make me sound like one of the chipmunks, Alvin's chipmunks, okay? So let me go ahead and do this one more time, and we right click, select speed or duration. And remember, whenever we speed it up, we always have that space at the end there. So let's go 200% again. We'll maintain audio pitch, but now we're going to ripple trailing clips, and that should bring this track butt up against this one. And that way we don't have to slide that track. So go ahead and click ripple trailing clips, and we'll select OK. And now notice how it just brings that track butt up against that, even though we adjusted the speed. All right, now in a later tutorial, we will start talking about the loop. Whenever you go here to the speed, duration, and you want to select the loop, don't worry about that right now. We will get to it in a later tutorial. All right, but those are some very handy tools that you're going to be using while you're doing your video editing on here. So I figured I would just show you that. This is the actual, it's kind of strange because I'm working on the video that you're watching right now, right here. So it's kind of a little bit different, but I just wanted to show you guys how you can, work on these different things and, implement these tools that you have over here. So that we went over the ripple tool, the delete tool. Now let's go over the this tool, the transition tool. So basically, I'm going to come over here. I grabbed this subscribe thing in here, and I'll probably leave it in here as well. So let me go ahead and roll in on this. I'm going to use my pointer tool, and I'm going to roll in on this. And what I want to do is I want to fade out from this scene right here, and then we're going to go to the subscribe. Okay, so let me go ahead and grab my transition tool, cross dissolve, and I'm going to put it in here. Now notice how it's only doing it on one side. It's not doing it on both sides. Okay, that's a little bit of pain in the butt because especially when you have a short clip like this, right? I'm going to hit Control Z, and I'm going to try to get it in both of these clips. But you can see that it's just not happening for me. So basically, I'm going to take this and put this like this, and it's going to dip. All right, so let me go ahead and try and get it on this other one. Okay, so now check out this cross dissolve. So we'll be on this clip right here. Over the this see how it's black? See, it keeps everything black. Let me hit Control Z, and now I get it back. And if I hit the space bar to play, see how that cross dissolve? But it would cross dissolve into the other track if I had a longer clip. But this is just a subscribe track. So it doesn't, you're going to have issues. Now, I just want to let you guys know that if you have a nice long track on the other side, you're not going to have that issue. But whenever you're bringing in short tracks like that, you are. So let me go ahead and take this off, and I'll bring in one of my previous tracks, a longer track like this, and I'll butt it up against. And I'll come in here and I'll grab that transition cross dissolve again. Now look what happens. See, now it cross dissolves. It's because this one over here is a longer track. And so if we
Now
have,
let's go over
okay, let me hit the space bar and you'll see the cross dissolve up here.
This tool, the transition tool.
See, and then it
All
cross
right, now-
dissolve. It's hard to tell because it's the same format, but that's what's going on right there. But I hope you guys appreciated this tutorial. If you did, give me a like, share, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. We're going to be talking more about the effects.